of the minutes of the May 23rd, 2022 Village Board meeting. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
Take roll.
We need to take roll.
Trustee Inkeman.
Here.
Trustee Briand.
Here.
Trustee Markey. Here. Trustee Rappin.
Here.
Trustee Ryder.
Here.
Thank you, sorry about that. So again, the consideration of the minutes of the May 23rd, 2022 Village Board meeting. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Any changes?
There was one typo that was passed around earlier this evening.
Anything more? Thank you. Clerk, please call the roll. Sorry.
Trustee Inkeman.
Aye.
Trustee Briand.
Aye.
Trustee Markey.
Aye.
Trustee Rappin.
Aye.
Trustee Ryder.
Aye.
I'm really sorry about that. Next are our non-agenda items and visitors. The village president and board of trustees allocate 15 minutes during this item for those individuals who would like the opportunity to address the village board of trustees on any matter not listed on the agenda. Each person addressing the village board of trustees is asked to limit their comments to a maximum of 5 minutes. I believe we have Mrs. Collins. You have 3 of us here. Please state your name and your address to the board. Thank you.
No. My name is Nan Caldwell. I live at 400 Ravine Avenue. I've been a Lake Bluff resident for over 35 years, and I visit the beach just about every day of the year. And I'm here to talk about the North Shore Water Reclamation District site plan. We're very excited about it. The beach is the gem of our community. In fact, in one of the more recent Lake Bluff Park District surveys, the Lake Bluff residents voted our beach as our #1 asset. I honestly believe that people visit our beach probably more than any other beach on the North Shore. Any day you might go down there and you'll see people strolling, running, biking, walking dogs, doing yoga, swimming, fishing, sailing, attending special events, church services, or just sitting on the rocks and enjoying the views. And yet no other beach has an unsightly sewage pump station right at its center. You round the corner of that, the northeast corner of that pump station, and you get the most beautiful view of the lakeshore all the way down to the city. It's a priceless vista point. And while other local communities have redesigned their beaches with what I call Disney-like charm, I think the charm of our beach is its natural setting. And it's really important that we make every effort to enhance and maintain its natural beauty. And in this conversation, I think it's really important to acknowledge and recognize the importance of the job that building performs. We know and we are grateful for the efforts that the village and NSWRD do and invest into keeping pollution from entering our lake and the odors from polluting our beaches. It's essential work, and we couldn't live without it. And now NSWRD has this large infrastructure site plan, and with that plan, it gives us an opportunity to maybe once in a lifetime opportunity to address the appearance of that building and mitigate its effect on the natural surroundings and the beauty of the beach itself. Our #1 asset. So I implore the village to do the hard work to plan something that improves that building, addresses the size, shape, and orientation of its footprint, protects the open spaces and the views, and sensitively blends with the natural beauty of the surroundings. I'm grateful to all of you and your leadership, the time and the talent and the dedication that you have in leading our community. And without you, nothing would change, nothing would happen. And I think that what we do here and what we don't do is what we're going to be living with for decades. So this is the time, this is our chance. We've carefully read the report, we visited the site, we've measured, researched, and discussed the plan. And we have some sincere commendations and some recommendations. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to Mickey Collins.
Mickey Collins, 217 East Scranton. As Nan said, This is a priceless view, it's what we love. I took this picture to capture it, and then I turned around at 180 degrees and I took this picture. So, you know, we are rather unique. Lake Forest built a lovely, beautiful building at their own expense to house this equipment. And we are dealing with what is there and don't have the funds, I don't think, to do what Lake Forest did. But we're hoping that we can find some ways to find our way through this project to actually improve what we have here. So, as Nan said, this is our big chance. So what is the proposed plan? I'll go into this in more detail. This is the most recent plan. It's from the May 26th. And the big reason for this project is that area at the southern part where you can see it's actually a new yacht club shown in plan, but kind of faintly outlined along there is that's the limit of where an underground storage basin will be built for overflow. And associated with that will be what is called a wet well building, and that's above grade, but that's part of the system. So there are good things. I mean, this is a $10 million investment in these facilities, and this should help prevent wastewater overflow into Lake Michigan. The Water Reclamation District is proposing to put new pavement in the parking area that will replace that ugly asphalt, which is great. And they're going to build accessible restrooms and a trash enclosure, and they want to do some facade enhancements of those existing buildings. So those are all very good things. We just want to talk about 4 concerns that we have. So number 1 is right above it, you can see the existing generator. And it's a shipping container with a chain link fence around it. Now this was my understanding when it was put in place, it was a temporary fix, but that was 20 years ago, and the plan is to keep that there. It's rusting, it's not a long-lasting installation of a generator. And I would like to point out that it's an inefficient layout because that shipping container is essentially a generator room. It has doors, and the workmen can go in there and they can walk around and they can maintain the generator. And then they have all the space around the generator itself, so you can maintain the shipping container. But keeping this has kind of an unfortunate impact on what is proposed. Now, emergency generators are normally inside buildings. The Lake Forest facility is there on the left. That's the back side. And the front side, they have a huge picnic shelter and food service area and things like that. But that louver behind that is their emergency generator. So my whole career, I worked on buildings that had emergency generators, always indoors. One is pictured on the right, and that louvered area to the left of the entrance, that's the emergency generator for a major research lab facility. So they can face outward. You probably have seen them, you've walked by them, but that's how they're typically done. So then the second thing I mentioned that there's sort of an impact from keeping the generator, and that is that this number 2 is kind of the wet well structure that's above grade, and then the new restrooms get put outside of these facilities, and they project into the parking lot. And unfortunately, that's the view that Nan was talking about. You round the pump building and you see the skyline of Chicago, not on that day, but some days. But the orange rectangle is basically where the view will be blocked. And I also want to point out that with the current plan, there are 2 doors to restrooms right there as you walk around. That's what you're greeted with. So the parking area it's used by the community church, the yacht club, sometimes simultaneously, they overlap. So it's a busy, well-used parking lot, and I think that has to be considered too, the impact on parking. Number 3 is the north face of that existing pump building. So what is proposed is a mural. I think this is a little controversial. Maybe there are some people that love it. I've I've really heard from a number of people that really don't like this mural idea, and I have to admit, I'm one of them. I think a mural like this would attract attention to that building. It doesn't do anything to hide it or enhance it. And I think there's some very practical reasons why we don't really want a mural there. Because there's an entry door that would be right within that mural, and murals are very difficult to maintain. I think that the goal should be that whatever is done down here should be easy to maintain, because we know the record of, how maintenance has gone. So we want something easy to maintain. We have an idea for that. So then number 4 is that subterranean storage area itself, and what happens with the yacht club. Now, the yacht club I know that they are trying to stay in their existing footprint, and that's one of their drawings is on the left here. It looks a little larger maybe than their existing facility, but their intention is really to stay there. They've shown some overhangs that maybe would be a little controversial, but we're not sure what's happened with this basin rotating outward and moving eastward, because as you can see now, the yacht club is actually coming into the beach area. So we think that the goal, that anything that's approved should enable the yacht club to stay in its existing footprint. I do want to point out some inaccurate drawings have been submitted. This was what was submitted for the south elevation, showing the generator kind of lining up with the pump building and the wet well building, just a little extension. This is really what
Wow.
it would be. And that generator extends out quite a bit, and then the wet well building beyond it. So we just don't feel like we have a final worked out plan here, and we really want to get a more inspired vision for this beach. So our suggestions are, first, starting up there at the north end, there's plenty of room to do some deep landscape beds, and we think by doing deep enough beds, then shrubs and trees can be layered, and they can just screen that building. If everything on the building is just painted one color to start, and then just a lot of plantings to soften that view, that is probably the absolute best solution there, and that's going to be easy to maintain. So then the orange area is our suggestion of where a building should be done that includes the wet well and the restrooms, but also the generator. And it can be kept back as, hopefully back aligning with the pump building, if not very close to it. So just keep everything so that it's not moving out, obstructing views and obstructing parking. And then I did mention the yacht club and hoping that it can stay back as well. This photo just kind of shows how much room there is to the north at that pump building. For some reason, that access road widens out, and then in the winter, that snow is not even plowed from that area that has the green squiggle. So it's not needed. That could be just when the road is repaved at the end of this project, which is the plan, that's when a new curb could be put just along that one line, and then the landscape bed could be created. While we're talking about it, though, the Reclamation District also owns the guardrail. They have everything to do with that road under their purview. So the supports for the guardrail are just rotted. That you can kick them, and this guardrail, I think, does nothing to protect anybody. The steel is very rusted down below under the connection points, not as visible, but it's not salvageable. And you can see what Lake Forest has, which is quite lovely, and hopefully we could get something like that, just a wood guardrail put in as part of this project. And just, we don't want to forget the existing picnic shelter, which is so well used, and it seems well loved too. Perhaps we want to see it as part of this whole assembly of buildings, as part of the image down there at the beach. And maybe the colors, materials, style could inform, or at least be related to as the design is developed for both the yacht club and anything that's built for the Reclamation District. Costs, we know this is a big issue, but if we eliminate the mural and the wall-mounted screens suggested for perennials, which, by the way, would never survive in that very harsh environment down at the beach, right? Eliminate those, and then instead of it's a beautiful pattern of concrete with some exposed aggregate stripes and things. Just use plain concrete for the parking area. That could save a lot of money. And then hopefully that money could be allocated to do a simple but attractive small building there. I think we want to set on a different slide, give it a little Lake Bluff charm, maybe, for that new building, and do a new guardrail. So that's our hope. I'm going to turn it over to Pam Russell now.
Pam Russell, 448 Gurney Avenue. We need a unified solution, and one that means the village, the Park District, NSWRD, and the Yacht Club working together. And we ask that the village take the lead on that and coordinate the effort to come up with a final design that really works for Lake Bluff. We need a coordinated complex of the buildings, and we want to preserve the views by pulling those buildings back and enhance the beach, not just, add something that's not very attractive that we live with for the rest of our lives. So this slide summarizes the points Mickey's discussed and also adds one more that we think needs to be addressed, and that's finding a permanent solution for the odor control problem. I've talked before this board about that. NSWRD did some work, made great improvements, but the odor is returning. I was down there 6 of 7 days one week, and 5 of those days there was a noticeable odor. We also asked the village to ask NSWRD what's done to control the odor in the reservoir. Does that need additional odor control? We have to get this right, so we asked the village to move forward and make sure it is a good plan for Lake Bluff.
Would you do me a favor and go back to the slide right before?
Yep.
Okay.
So bring the buildings back, improve the aesthetics, the landscaping beds, the guardrails. I believe the NSWRD has said they want to reuse the guardrails or something. If you go look at them, please visit the beach, look at the guardrails. They're 50 years old. They're not very usable. Wood would look better. I don't know what the cost difference is. Maybe the village wants to pick it up if there is a cost difference, but ask the questions, get the answers, and then make those decisions, please. So, we're here because we want to get it right. We hope the village board, advocates for the community. And I know there are others in the audience. Maybe you raise your hand if you're here because you think.
I have one question.
Yep.
The trees that are now, supposed to be planted that will block the lake, is that something that everyone agrees with? Because to me, you want to look out at that beautiful lake.
It was taken out, right?
Yeah, I think
Did I miss that?
well, no, I didn't point it out, but oops, let me just do this. No, the new plan that was done on the 26th, only one existing tree is shown there, and the other trees that were supposed to be added are gone now.
They are.
I think they realized that was not
Yeah, that's
a
silly
good idea.
Okay.
Yeah,
They did make that change, so.
yeah, they did that. Yeah.
So thank you very much. I moved to Lake Bluff 26 years ago to be part of a Lake Bluff Yacht Club, and I try to say as much as I can every week. So I'm sensitive to your comments, so thank you very much. And please send us your presentation.
I know it's not common for us to comment on comments, but just because there's a lot of people here interested, can you go back to your summary slide, Pam, please? So this is a project that is in motion, right? That there was a workshop held with the Architectural Board of Review and the Planning Commission, Zoning Board of Appeals, because those two bodies that this project will have to go through, because it's in our recreational, institutional, and open space district. And so there's a process that they're following. The first meeting was a concept plan. What they shared was a second concept plan. There was a new plan submitted late Thursday evening that does
One with
there's a plan B So mural concept, landscaping concept that has the larger, deeper beds on the north that has no mural, wooden guardrails, and we are talking to them about the logistics and limitations of moving those facilities back or over. There are some plumbing and other reasons why it may not be possible, but we've been talking about the same things for the same reasons.
Great.
And same with the odor issue, right? So all these things are being addressed. I think the good news is so far they're listening, right? They're making changes, and so we haven't even had a chance to talk about it internally. But the new I did since everybody was here is that there is motion, there is good conversations that are happening. So I wanted you to know that.
Please.
So and I did share with them your plan, Mickey, and they looked at that and said, we said do this, do that. So
Amazing. I'm so happy to hear that.
yeah,
Thank you.
so.
Do you think that it would be good for us to kind of take our show on the road and go to the zoning board? Just give it to them as a slide presentation that they can look at.
I mean, we'll give it to them. We'll give it to them as part of this. I mean, we have been coordinating with the Park District and have been more or less taking the lead and working with the NSWRD. So, I mean, all those things we've been doing. So, I hope that's good news. But, you know, I don't know. You can certainly do as you wish. I think it's great if you took it to the NSWRD and you took it to the Park District.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be a good thing.
We did see some earlier design where they were proposing actually rotating that generator crate.
That was a
North-south.
Park District master plan, I think, from
Yeah.
2015. I didn't see a date on the document, but I think they actually swung the generator around. But then they weren't envisioning a wet well at the time, right?
And
So
I don't think they have the
that's-
functional understanding of that structure and that building, what it does either, so.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That's rare. For the record, we can get a response like this, so that's good.
Next, thank you very much. Next is the village board sets the order of the meeting, item number 5. The village president and board of trustees will entertain requests from anyone present on the order of business to be conducted during the village board meeting. Do we have any requests tonight?
No one is raising their hand.
Thank you very much. Moving on to the next item, item number 6, our village finance report. And number 1 would be our warrants report for May 24th to June 13, 2022, and May 2022 payroll expenditures. Is there a motion to approve this warrant report?
So moved.
Thank you. A second.
Second.
As a summary of background and reason for request, we have expenditure of village funds for payment of invoices in the amount of $339,683.10 for May 24th to June 13, 2022, and expenditures of village funds for payment of payroll in the amount of $300,789.51 for May 2022, for total expenditures of $640,472.61. You will find reports and documents attached as the warrant reports for May 24th to June 13, 2022, again for $339,000 and $683.10. The invoice register report shows checks with a status of open or paid. All checks with a status of open are computer-generated checks for the board's final approval. Checks with a status of paid are checks processed manually. And number 2, you will find the fiscal year 2022 to 2023 payroll report. Do we have any comments on this report?
There was a question raised earlier today when conversation with Trustee Marquis about NIPUS appearing on the bill, a payment to NIPUS, and I wanted to have, and she had a good suggestion that maybe Matt can give us an update and some board members to hear about what NIPUS does, just briefly.
Good evening. Good to see everyone. So just a brief kind of top view look of what NIPUS is. Originally started in 1983, and that was to address a flooding issue that occurred in actually 1982 here in the North Shore area. At that time, 15 agencies came together and formed NIPUS, or the Northern Illinois Police Alarm System. There are now over 100 agencies, including Lake Bluff, that are involved in that mutual aid. There's a governing board that oversees it, including the finances, policies, procedures, response, and those are made up of chiefs and other members to formulate those policies and keep NIPUS running as well as it does. There are two primary teams associated with NIPUS. That's the Emergency Services Team, or EST, and the Mobile Field Force, or MFF. Lake Bluff has been a member of the NIPUS, EST, and Mobile Field Force since about 2003, when then Police Chief Bill Gallagher, when he came to Lake Bluff, coming from Winnetka, really saw the value of that, right? Having that ability to have those resources for a town like Lake Bluff to utilize. So what are those two? What does that mean? So EST exists to respond to active threats, such as hostage barricaded situations, search and rescue, high-risk warrants, and those types. They'll even do dignitary protection for when someone comes in on town, president or the likes. Mobile Field Force focuses on civil unrest situations. So as we've seen in recent years, they've been responding to many deployments in other member agencies around the area. So the ultimate goal of mutual aid is to respond, but to provide a significant number of resources when we as a smaller agency need them, right, or other member agencies, right? There's value to that. Additional added benefits, though, are specialized trainings for our folks that are part of that, right? They bring that back to our agency and are able to share those experiences, and the networking that we have with those other law enforcement agencies. It's a value to us. Currently, Sergeant Jim Reynolds is on the EST team, and he's had a number of positions within that team. He was also formerly a member of the Mobile Field Force prior to going there, so he's had an extended period of time there learning a lot about the teams. As of right now, our Mobile Field Force position is open. That was due to Officer Corona leaving the agency, so that would be a position that we'll try to seek and fill, see if we have another member that would like to join from the department. We've had a number of officers over the years that have been part of these teams, and that's including some of the leaders within our agency. And it allows us, again, as a small group, a small agency, to have vast resources available to us. You know, we pick up a phone and we can get these resources here, which is incredible. So we're very fortunate for that. Thank you. Have any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any more questions on the board?
I do, the TFG Enterprises, for the landscaping maintenance. Is that $1,700 for each visit to those three facilities?
So that particular bill, we've used them, they are our contractor for Village Hall, Public Safety Building, and the train station, but we also have used them for other one-offs, such as we rebuilt the lift stations, and we had them come in and replace shrubberies and other landscaping where that was removed as part of the project. That particular invoice, I know Bettina's typing away at the moment.
I'm just seeing that there are dates of April 1st, May 9th, and May 25th. And, I mean, April was a loss for a lot of landscapers, but I'm just curious if that's a weekly, bi-weekly, yeah, I mean, it looks like it's bi-weekly, or not bi-weekly, but bi-monthly. But when the train station, it's just a lot, and so for those three buildings.
We
Because
bid
there's
it,
just not
they were the
much
lowest bidder.
do, okay, is that just for mowing?
No, it's maintains, they're pulling weeds in the beds, they're maintaining, trimming shrubberies, they are edging, they are, it's a full scope, everything, in fact, everything they're doing it with battery-powered equipment, by
That's
the
good.
way. Except for mowing, which we gave them the transit, they can still use gas-powered.
That's good to know, though, because so it doesn't include the ramp, though, by the train station, because the other day I saw 5 Public Works guys out there with gas-powered weed whackers going after that ramp and the hill there.
Yeah.
5 gas-powered weed, I just, like, ooh, so much for sustainability. So anyway, I was just curious because it's a lot.
It's under 14,000